Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Story number 1. Humans are most definitely weird. Safety problems. Captain Girlcast called Psht, the 14th, suddenly woke up to a multitude of blaring alarm sirens. As he suddenly sat up, he managed to slam his delicate sensor cluster into the bed above him. It hurt as hell, and caused him to produce an intense scream of vivid cursing. While he hurried to get dressed, he muttered to himself, "Hey, can't we have some nice roomy quarters like the GAC? No, we gotta do it as we always have, Spartan and cramped sleep modules with crappy food cubes. Fecking sucks to be a clone." Suddenly, he felt the entire ship tremble, and yet another klaxon started to torment his auditory stalks. He rushed to the bridge and demanded a status report. "Multiple, system hull breach," said one of the technicians. "What? Turn off those damn klaxons!" shouted the captain. The technician tapped away furiously on his keypad, and one by one the warning sirens quieted down. But just a couple of seconds after the last siren had been silenced, the ship started to vibrate again, causing a couple of sirens to start their noise once more. "What the hell is going on?" screamed the captain angrily. "We don't know. Suddenly the entire ship started shaking and vibrating, and multiple alarms went off," replied the tech. "Oh yeah? I hadn't noticed. How about telling me what the sensors say?" Sorry, sir. Let's see, There's a warning about a general system failure. The message might be a result of the multiple other warnings. The attack alarm went off too, triggered by the vibrations, and, same with the hull breach alarm. There is no pressure drops anywhere, but must be a vibrations that caused the alarm too. Oh, what? There's some sensor readings from the guest quarters too. You mean Cargo Bay 4, where the big fecking human is? Yes, exactly. The sensors say that there's been a cargo displacement. We don't have any other cargo there except for the human here. Oh, god damn it! Excuse me, sir? We were actually warned about this. Humans have all kinds of weird quirks that no other species have. Perhaps this is one of them? I can't see how that would be possible, sir. These sensor readings indicate serious problems. There should be no way for any being to cause this kind of sensor data on his own. We'll see about that. Follow me, you two. Bring a couple of stunners just in case. The captain gestured to another crew member to join them, and went off in the direction of Cargo Bay 4. Halfway there, the rumble began again, even stronger than before, and another siren, of course, went off. The captain glared, or a multi-stalked equivalent thereof, at the poor technician, who just shrugged and brought up his porter pad. "I thought you disabled those." "I did, sir. This is a new warning." "What is it this time?" There seem to be some problems with the life support in Cargo Bay 4. Disturbances in the airflow." "What the hell is going on in there?" muttered the captain to himself. When they arrived at the cargo bay in question, the unsettling sounds and vibrations had stopped again. The captain and the other crew member, the poor bastard without a name, brought up their stunners, and then the captain nodded to equally nameless technician to disable the safety lock on the personal door. The captain opened the door carefully, and as silently as possible, and peeked inside. It was mostly dark, with a few weak utility lights here and there. He asked the technician to slowly increase the main illumination to 15%. The captain could see the human seemingly sleeping in the corner with his custom-made bed. He was huge, almost twice as large as the captain. The captain wasn't fooled. He knew there was something fecky going on. "Set your stunners to max. I'm not sure if these have any effects at all on this behemoth." "Yes, sir," whispered the no-name guy. "Okay, let's go." The techie stayed at the door, unarmed as he was. He also thought to himself that it might be a good idea to be prepared to close the door and enable security measures if things went south, to protect the rest of the ship. There may have been some personal reasons too. The captain and the no-name guy slowly walked towards the resting human, the soft pads of their feet making their movements virtually undetectable for small prey on their homeworld as well as for large humans in cargo bays. Evolution, feck yeah. When they were about 10 bocca away from the human, the captain stopped and raised his stunner, accompanied by his crewman. But just as he was about to yell at the human to show himself and put his hands in the air, the human moved. Suddenly, the awful vibrations began again, louder and nastier than ever. The captain was now convinced that this was an attack or possibly a defense mechanism of some sort, and yelled, "Shoot!" They both hit the human with several shots each. When the first 3 shots hit, the human screamed and moved in a jerky fashion, as most people do when being shot with a stunner. He then attempted to get out of bed, but he should have been unconscious by now. How was this possible? "Shoot!" yelled the captain, and so they both began bombarding the dangerous human with stun pulse after stun pulse. After several shots from each attacker, the human succumbed and fell back onto his bed. They kept firing. They didn't stop until several minutes later, when the power calls were depleted. Then the human moved again. Moments later, the sounds and vibrations returned, just as strong as before. That was the final straw, and they decided to flee for their lives. As soon as they had tumbled out through the door, the technician locked it and enabled the force fields. 5 Baka later, the captain had spent 2,000 Becca on an emergency FTL call to a human homeworld to ask for advice. The human on the other end of the line laughed when the captain explained the problem. "Why are you laughing?" said the captain. "We have a serious security problem." "No, he's just snoring. Wake him up gently and tell him about the problem. He's probably just forgotten to use his snore inhibitor." Snoring? "Oh, yes, you can read all about it on the net. Just wake him up first and fix your emergency. Then you can learn all about it later." "Will do. Thank you." "Damn, you humans are weird. Can't argue with you on that one." End of story. Story number 2. Carrying Capacity, written by Fisser946. We learn in environmental studies that there are natural blocks to prevent population overgrowth. Things such as predation, susceptibility to disease in high-density populations, and tendency to starve due to overgrowing their food source's ability to provide. When an animal is killed and eaten by another, others of its kind are left to continue the gene pool, hopefully with differences that make them less available to their predators. They run, they hide, we killed, we slew our predators with fear, then for sport. We locked them in cages for our amusement and their own safety from us. We bred them into mere shadows of their former selves, mockeries of what they once were. Neither does man bow willingly to sickness. For thousands of years, we were killed in swaths by disease. Our ancestors died in anguish, and we left rot in open graves. We refused to allow our fellow man to suffer at the hands of the unknown. So we took it upon ourselves that they suffer at our own hand. We dissected and vivisected our own kith and kin, performed abominable experiments on our fellow man, all in order to understand ourselves better. We brewed medicine and vaccine. We developed methods to prevent the spread of, and ultimately exterminate those that plagued us so. Though our microscopic adversaries are innumerable and forever twisting and changing to kill us, we remain vigilant, eager to defend against the unseen menace. Food has always been a problem, but never before has it been more solvable. Even as billions go to sleep hungry and millions perish with empty stomachs, we continue to develop methods to feed our growing population. We tore into the flesh of Gaia and felled forests that stood for time immemorial to grow food for our families. We reduced farming and ecological balance to formulas with which to describe our place in the world, and used those formulas to change the world around us and broaden our own place in the sun. We reached into the very blueprints of life and contorted it to grow things that suit our needs. In a short while, we may eliminate world hunger together. In environmental sciences, we learn that all populations experience a boom and bust cycle, growth and decay, always ending in decay. We learn that populations are controlled through predation, pestilence, and hunger. Humans, however, are not content to be controlled. We refuse to bow to the laws of nature. We fear death, and in doing so we rise to conquer it. We may never be eternal, But in our struggle to overcome the barriers that dictate whether we live or die, I believe that we become something more than mortal, an abomination in the eyes of Mother Nature, free from the shackles she imposed on us. End of story. The algorithm reckons you should be watching this video next, and I recommend that you should be always watching my video. So, click with energy! And yes, clicking that does help the channel. Thank you very much. I just quickly want to thank the Tier 5 patrons and channel members: Alithia Barkey, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholtz, Albarden Guster, Arcadian, Lord Azrakal, and Joachim Backer.